I also have a few questions for you. Starting with your numbers here, there's roughly 3 million for track replacements. 2 of those are at 1.5 million. We've done resurfacing and repairs in the past, so the only thing I can figure at 1.5 million is you're planning to tear it up and replace it entirely. Is that why are we making that decision instead of just resurfacing it when we have, and longevity-wise, it should just be resurfaced, especially when, to tack onto that, last I knew, we had property in Ratcham waiting for an additional school, so why are we making repairs to places like Lakeland Middle School and Lakeland High School when the plan is to move?
So, the plan to move would be great. We'd have to pass a bond, pretty large bond to build a new school, and then we could shift things around accordingly. In the meantime, we have 2 high schools that have track programs. They use for PE, the community comes and uses them. We have sports clubs that use them. So to answer your question about the resurfacing, the base is failing. And this track here is a prime example. I mentioned in the last town hall meeting, my daughter runs track, she was up here. I had to let her know, hey, lane 1 has a hole in it. Make sure you go scope the track out before you run so you don't roll an ankle. The back end of the track here has got cracks in it that I'd say probably close to a ½ inch now. You can literally stick your fingers in it. And the problem with that is, well known in Idaho, you get water in there, especially in the wintertime, you get the freeze-thaw cycles, and it's just expanding the cracks. What we have done here is we bought boxes of caulking that we are filling cracks in to help prevent the water from getting in and making it any worse. There's parts of the track that are actually bubbled where you can tap it and the whole thing moves. The track coach out here has actually done some repairs where they've dug out and done repairs. The problem is to actually do it right and something that's going to last 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. The asphalt itself has to be redone. And one of the other problems that, well, actually both schools have this problem. When they did the original plowing for the schools, for the tracks, Lakeland High School's tennis courts, the bleachers, if you've ever been out there, you'll see that they're failing. When they did the plowing, they plowed over organic material. So trees, stumps, things like that. Well, this track was done original to the school 20 some years ago, and the trees are starting to disintegrate, and the track is starting to fail because of that organic material that's coming out from underneath it. So the way to fix it, instead of putting a Band-Aid on it, is to literally tear it out and do it right, where it's going to last for the next 5-6 generations.
Okay, with that, to piggyback off of her question, it was 20 million was given by the state. You accounted for 16 mil this summer, and I understand the balancing of what you got back, but that's still 4 million you're not accounting for. You said roughly that's going to last over 10 years, so that would be one of those that could be used, could it not? What are we doing with the other $4 million?
So the other $4 million is going to Ethel Elementary next summer. That's the next project that we're doing. It roughly, budget-wise, that's about what we have left, and that's about what it's going to cost to do Ethel Elementary without doing the lighting retrofit there. And so that's where it's going. The House Bill 521, this money specifically, cannot be used, that school modernization money cannot be used for athletic facilities.
Okay.
So we cannot use it for that purpose. It has to be used on school buildings, not on the facilities. So,
Student occupied.
yeah.
If I can jump into, I do want to address the perception, if there is one, that we're planning on building a new school in the immediate future. I know that it has come up in board meetings that we do own property out on the prairie in Rathdrum. Ideally, that would be set aside for a school. At this point in time, we do not have a plan to relocate any of our schools to a brand new facility. You know, like Tim mentioned just a couple of moments ago, that would require us to pass a bond. That would be a much bigger effort that, frankly, we're just not at that point yet. And so we believe that we still have enough life and capacity in our current buildings to make good use of them. And we believe that that's the most responsible thing for our taxpayers to is to take care of the things that we have well before we branch out for something brand new.
Okay, that not being able to be spent on athletics, what's happening to the $25,000 that was given to Lakeland High School for athletics?
The T-Mobile
Yes.
contest that they won, they actually won 30,000. So 5,000 was the initial, and then we won 25,000 for the second portion of that. And then, yeah, Timberlake last year. Won 5,000 this year. Thank you. That is specifically for athletics. And Matt Neff, the AD at Lakeland High School, is working now on the plan where they're going to work on the concession stand and the entrance and the grandstands in that area for that field.
The schools with that money, they really get to dictate what they're using it for, because that money was gifted to the school, not to the district. And so we're allowing them, I wouldn't say we're allowing them, but they have the autonomy to make that decision as long as it's being used for the purpose it was granted. So we definitely have those conversations. It's definitely in the scope of what they were given the money for. So, I mean, it's ultimately up to them to make that decision.
And that's awesome. I would state on that with the video that was recently posted with Lakeland High School and Timberlake High School principals, it's a bit misleading because I specifically remember Hoffman stating that the concrete on the grandstands needs to be replaced. And so if they're using that money, using that as a point for the levy is a bit misleading, I would say.
The cost for the grandstands is going to be a lot more than they received from T-Mobile, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sure. And then, I just lost it. There was one more. You had mentioned that Lakeland High School is getting a new roof and the HVAC replaced. I want to say it was like a year, 2 years ago, the roof lit on fire. Part of it did because of poor maintenance of the HVAC system, and it was repaired, and I know part of that was done with insurance. How is that being factored in, and what guarantees, if taxpayers are gonna fork out all of this money for these repairs, what guarantees that you can make that the maintenance will be done properly so we do not have another incidental fire?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So first off, I'll back up a little bit about why we're replacing the whole roof of Lakeland High School. Originally, when we had done the plan, there was only a portion of the roof that absolutely had to be replaced. When we brought the engineers in, they did a thermal scan of the roof to where we could actually look under the TPO. And then they took specific cores throughout the roof. So we could see how the material was handling or holding up underneath the TPO. What we found is that the majority of the roof has moisture under the TPO. So it's literally rotting the roof from the TPO down. So the only way to effectively fix the roof is to replace everything. And that may mean pulling out some insulation when we get underneath there. If it's wet, we want to make sure that it's a healthy environment for the school that's going to last another 30 years. TPO roof is going to give us 30 years. So we do get the manufacturer's warranty, we get the installation warranty, and that's what's going to protect the materials. To go back to your question about the maintenance, with the new systems that are getting installed, my HVAC guys will be working hand in hand with Legacy and Siemens when they're installing the systems to make sure that if there are any nuances to the new machines that they don't have currently with the old machines, that they're on top of it. We have a dedicated preventive maintenance guy that goes to every single machine at least once every 6 months, changes belts, filters, services the machine. The new machines that are actually going into Lakeland High School will actually be visible via a computer-based program where we can actually sit and interface with the machine without tearing it apart. So it will communicate through this interface and give us diagnostics, and it will even self-diagnose. The new things it's far beyond what I'm used to with some of the older houses and things like that. But these new units, not only are they efficient, but they're going to last us another 30 years down the road. But we are working hand in hand with the guys that are installing them, so that everybody is on the same page. We know exactly what's going in, and any kind of maintenance that needs to be done on